U-Sports on CBC, presented by les championnats U-Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada, Nike, Fox 40, Theraburn Medical Supplies, Les Bag Baron Rings, BioSteel, Wilson, APAR, and by Indochino.
You're watching U-Sports on CBC. U-Sports Final 8 Consolation Semifinal about to get underway in a few minutes between two teams who are very familiar with each other, the Bishop's Gaiters and the Laval Rouge Aor. Jake McGrail here with Kira Lyons on the call. Two teams looking to bounce back after quarterfinal losses yesterday. For Laval, all eyes will be on their leading scorer from yesterday's contest. That is Brinley Holt. It didn't start the game, but certainly played a major role in how it ended, scoring an efficient 22 points, including hitting 6 for 12 from the outside. And on the side of the Bishop's Gaiters, certainly I don't want to say obvious player to watch, but when you got the conference MVP on one side, then you certainly got to have a lot of attention on her.
And such a good game yesterday, too. A really complete game. One of my favorite things about her was her grit and just her confidence. She has such an air about her and always had that aggressive mindset yesterday, no matter how the game went. She was out there attacking both offensively, defensively, and such a force for this Bishop's team. So definitely one to keep your eye on for sure.
This is the 6th meeting of the season between these two sides from Quebec.
A lot of that this tournament had Huskies Pandas, now Huskies UBC, got this matchup here. Lots of familiarity in this Final 8.
And that's not to mention Ottawa versus Carleton in the other women's semifinal taking place tomorrow. Laval is up 3-2 in the season series between these two sides, but Bishop was the one who took the RSEQ championship just a couple of weeks ago, which was their first conference championship since 2004. So plenty to look forward to between these two sides as the cavalcade of action at this Indochino U-Sports Final 8 rolls on.
Feel every hit, point, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline. Our passionate team unlocks a world of possibilities with digital broadcasting made simple, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. Proudly Canadian, ISI Live, be there.
Hey U-Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Early mornings, late nights, every rep, every sacrifice leading to this. Fueled by BioSteel, the best get the chance to make their mark. One weekend, one shot at glory.
Number 11, Rosemary Dumont. The Rouge et Or, led by head coach William Giroux. Coach Giroux is assisted by Speedball Bouvin, Claudia Emmon, Leslie Macoso, and Christian Tapin.
Le Rouge et Or est dirigé par l'entraîneur-chef William Giroux. L'entraîneur Giroux est assisté par Speedwell Bouvin, Claudia Emmon, Leslie Macoso et Christian Tapin.
Now, fans, let's meet the starters for the Bishop Gaiters. First to the floor, number 0, Eve Atemchon. Number 1, Lori Lafleur. Number 5, Victoria Ghana. Number 7, Shaylin Greaves. And number 11, Jasmine Martel. Gators are led by head coach Andrew Torres. Coach Torres assisted by Christine Murphy and Ibrahim Ngom.
Les Gators sont dirigés par l'entraîneur-chef Andrea Torres. L'entraîneur Torres est assisté par Christine Murphy et Ibrahim Ngom. Les officiels aujourd'hui sont
the officials for tonight's game, Tommy Wu, Stephen Clow, and Audrey Cardinal. Before tip-off, we'd like to take time to acknowledge that we are gathered tonight on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam people.
Nous aimerions également profiter de ce moment pour reconnaître que nous sommes réunis aujourd'hui sur le territoire traditionnel, ancestral et non cédé du peuple Musqueam.
We're just about to get underway here at War Memorial Gym. It's the 6th seed, the Bishop's Gators, coming off a loss to two-time defending champions Carleton, going up against the Laval Rouge et Or, 7th seed and wildcard berth at this tournament. They fell in overtime against the Ottawa GGs over at Thunderbird Arena yesterday. The opening tip goes in favor of Bishops. And we are underway in the second Consolation Semifinal after Alberta and St. Mary's did battle just before this game tipped off. There's Victoria Gauna, the RSEQ MVP, getting us underway, unable to hit. And there's a travel right there on the first possession for Laval. Brinley Holt getting the start tonight after her fireworks off the bench yesterday, but unable to control her feet there.
I remember Brinley Holt from the tournament last year and just how impactful she can be on both ends of the floor. Aggressive defender, she's really long and a good shooter, you know, can definitely go on streaks where she's feeling it. And yeah, an exciting player to watch. I really enjoyed her last year.
Inbound on the baseline for the Gators. Gauna backing down in the post. Going to use that size to create some space, unable to get that fall-away jumper to go, and we have a tie-up, which will be in favor of Laval.
I know one of the things that I feel like affected most of the teams yesterday was that first game of the tournament sort of jitters, and the field goal percentage of most of the teams and the scoring were low. And I do expect, I mean, maybe bad timing as she shoots an air ball.
You got a commentator's curse already?
But I'm thinking that as these teams are so familiar with each other, that field goal percentage, those shots are going to fall. We're going to see a bit more pure basketball than we did yesterday.
Three-pointer up, Lori Lafleur, unable to hit from the outside. Bishops does get the offensive rebound, and after looking around for a teammate, Jasmine Martel said, hey, I've got some space, let me take this myself. Attempt at an immediate response there, going the other way, unable to finish there inside, but an offensive rebound this time on the side of Laval. Put in the moves on there was Leah Sophie Verrett, but
good defense. I think it went off her foot, actually. I think she might have got away with that one.
It's a long two, and the bucket is good from Shaylin Greaves.
Laval has the ability to play at such a high, good idea. Great read by the defense there, a nice idea by Holt. But they have the ability to play at such high speeds, and they have the ability to score in bunches because they shoot so many threes. And you just have to be aware of that. You can't allow them to get any sort of rhythm. So Bishop's putting a decent amount of ball pressure on, trying to disrupt that speed, that tempo.
And almost another turnover right there. In fact, it's going to be a tie-up. Diving to the deck right there. Great defensive play once again. And Lafleur forces what ends up being a change of possession with the possession arrow. Ev Achampon gives it up to Lafleur. Kicks it out to the perimeter. Wide open from beyond the arc is Gauna, and she gets her first bucket to go.
Good find, wide open, uncontested. She's won, you know, probably didn't have the game that she wanted yesterday, so to see her come alive here early, she's so dangerous and going to be a key piece here for the Bishops. For the Gators, sorry.
There's Gowney making her presence felt on the defensive end. As Laval is struggling to find the basket.
For the Gators, number 4,
Mariama Tupi-Diallo in now for Bishops as they try and keep this strong start going. Pull-up jumper off the mark. Verrett unable to hit. Now Gowney up against the smaller Verrett, unable to get it to go off the glass, but an offensive board. Swung into the corner for Greaves, and she connects. It is all Gators to begin this one, and you can see how fired up she is.
Yeah, their offense had some issues yesterday against that Carleton defense, and they look so much more comfortable here, moving the ball, finding their open teammates. And everybody's a threat. Yesterday, one of the problems that they had was everybody was catching it as a passer. Right now, they look like they're a threat, and obviously they're quite comfortable with their opponent as well, which adds to that, but it's nice to see a little bit of life from them.
See there in the huddle, head coach Guillaume Giroux trying to fire his team up, trying to find a way to break through on the offensive end. 0 for 3 from the field and 4 turnovers so far for the Rouge et Or, and the turnover is probably the bigger story out of those two. Just Bishops being able to create those transition opportunities and really gum up the works for Laval.
Yeah, their shooting percentage obviously a struggle right now, but when you're not even getting a look at the rim and you have, far less possessions than Bishops does, like, you're making it really difficult on yourself. So got to take care of the ball first. But like I said, they can be a very dangerous team. They can score in bunches and they can change this game immediately just with a couple of threes. So 10-0, not the start that you wanted, but definitely wouldn't take them very long to make that comeback in this first quarter.
Laval were able to score 67 points against the high-ranked Ottawa GGs, albeit with an overtime period included. For those totals, as two of us in danger on that one. Knocking it out of play is Gowney, keeping up that defensive intensity.
Never in danger. I catch that.
Hands were ready.
Don't worry about it. I got you.
Inbounded to Verrett, star guard for this Laval team, trying to get her team on the board. Short on the jumper, pulled down there by Greaves, and then a foul is called. First foul of this opening quarter. Lafleur into Gowney. Trying to create some space, kicks it back out to the perimeter, and here's Greaves driving. And that's almost a great bucket inside. And
oh, what a good look. Drew so many defenders. Everybody just staring at her. Opened that up on the weak side so nicely. Great look.
Was Leah Boulanger in off the bench, unable to finish as she gets the inbound pass. Gets that big-to-big feed on the inside, and Downey puts it home.
Yeah, she's a tough matchup for this Laval team. So mobile, threat from outside, confidence off the dribble. Oh.
Nice move right there, but off the mark was Elodie Lajoie. Just everything a little bit off offensively for Laval. What a step-through move right there by Lafleur. Pump fake and now drive. Kick out to the perimeter, and finally a bucket goes down. It's Kim Letang, the sharpshooter, in off the bench. Wasn't an everyday player this season for Laval, but shot over 40% from the outside on low volume as Boulanger underneath doesn't get the hoop, but will head to the free throw line.
Bishop's doing a really good job finding their bigs, exposing those mismatches. They have such length, that advantage right now anyways on the floor. Laval subbing in some size here to kind of combat that a little bit.
Talk about size, you got the 6'4" Aston Walidiara checking in. Quite sure exactly what that stoppage was, but Boulanger at the line, sinks the first. That one goes out of play, and last off of Laval, so Bishops, despite the miss, gets another opportunity. And talk about a dream start. All the bounces seem to be going their way right now.
Gotta be good to be lucky.
Boulanger hands it off to Lafleur. Drives right through traffic, and more free throws upcoming for Bishops.
Yeah, the Bishops, their aggression being rewarded right now. I mean, it's always the story, but it seems like that's been the story in this gym this weekend. It's if you're aggressive, you're physical, you know, you're going to get rewarded when you get to the line. You shy away from it. You're not going to get calls. You're not going to have any sort of and ones or finishes around the rim. Need to be aggressive. Need to be able to play through that aggression of the defense.
Just the one bucket for Laval so far. It was a three-pointer from Letang, who now gets it in the post. Going up underneath, bouncing around and out, and Boulanger gets the board. Coming the other way now are the Gaiters in the corner. That was Sandra Mbeku. Tried to pump fake and drive, but whistled for the travel. Khalifi at the point for the Rouge et Or, calling out the play. Drives herself with the left. She's tried that finish with the scoop a couple of times, just unable to get it past the size of the Gators defense.
Well, I think trying to get a call as well, but refs aren't giving it to her. But the offense of Laval right now, like, they're not on the same page. They're miscommunicating, didn't really know what they were in. They need to start talking to each other, open up some lanes, be able to get to the rim without so much traffic. They're just attacking and forcing it instead of really finding that best look.
Both teams calling for that play, but ruled to have last gone off of Achimpone and remains with Laval. As after a short rest, now Verrett back in, as is Frédéric Baudry-Blais. Starting backcourt back out there for the Rouge et Or. Baudry-Blais, nice bounce pass inside and just rimming in and out there on the finish was Julia Denis. Champone drive, goes up with the left, and that one also spills out after touching a couple of different parts of the rim. Verrett stops up, gives it to Baudry Blais, nice feed to Denis. Now Verrett, space from the free throw line to pull up, and off the mark once again. Champone not wasting any time, high off the glass. Boulanger using her size to fight for that board, and a foul is called. It looks like it'll be an offensive foul, though.
Oh, it was on.
It looked like the Bishop's bench also thought that the foul was on Laval. That's why I was confused for a moment, because the referee pointed one way, but the Gators were celebrating like they'd gotten the call.
I think they might have messed that one up. I don't think she fouled there. I think she got fouled.
In any case, it's the team in red who are the beneficiaries, and then drawing the foul there was Baudry Blais.
Bishop's foul number 7, Shayla Greaves.
Ruled to have been in the act, so she'll head to the line for the first free throw attempts of the game for Laval. And when things aren't working offensively, getting to the free throw line can certainly help be a cure. She makes it count. Now Gowney back in off the bench, going behind the back, floating it up, no good. Khalifi, rather, comes down with it. Verrett working around the screen, kicks it into the corner. Drive, bump, turnaround, another bump, and a travel is called on Jennifer Louis.
Yeah, just a little bit disjointed here right now. Often when you don't have, the communication or the flow in your offense, you tend to put yourself on an island and put each other on an island, and everyone's going 1v5. And that seems to kind of be the case right now. Like Laval not hitting shots, but also every time they attack, there's not a lot of movement from, the supporting cast. And you don't get to the rim, you don't feel like you have much. There you go.
Is getting to the rim.
Need some easy ones.
That's Louis. And a timeout immediately called by Bishop's. One defensive breakdown, and they're going to talk it over.
Well, like putting them on the line, giving them free throws, like you said, like one of the best ways to get your offense going is just to see the ball go through the rim. So you're putting them on the line, and then they get transition. Like I like that call to make the timeout. 2 kind of possessions back to back that are allowing momentum for Laval, and you want to try and cut that off right at the source.
Andrea Torres in her first year as head coach of the Gators program, talking things over with her team. They continue to maintain the lead here early on, but cooled off somewhat offensively since that flurry to start. Both Gauna and Shaylin Greaves, 5 points early on for the Gators, and Laval has already seen 11 different players hit the court as they search for a combination that'll work.
Some rhythm. Like only 5 points for Ghana, but I feel like her presence has been very felt here in this first quarter. Defensively, really good, strong attacks. The ball's been in her hand a lot. Yeah, I think she's going to have a good game.
Kick
had her
Mbeku.
wide open under there, too.
Unable to hit Gauna. She now drives herself and is rejected. Denis crashes to the deck, but only after she came up with a massive block. Now coming the other way, Khalifi kicks it to Verrett. Drives left, loses the handle. Now Bishop's coming right back the other way. Kick to the corner, Greaves, swing, and Mbeku. The triple is good.
Some frustration starting to boil here with the Laval guard having a hard time finishing. I know she didn't shoot incredibly well yesterday either, but I could see her looking into the crowd, expressing her, frustration with the ref there. Can't allow that stuff to impact you, right? Next play mentality. If they missed it or not, doesn't matter, go get it back. The game is far too early to be frustrated and complaining, so got to find a way to get back into this game and be present.
Baudry Blais with the and one, trying to get her team going, or at least help in that regard, is now Gowney using her size and putting it home. I believe that's the Bishop's men's team in the crowd behind the women's squad bench, and they're certainly making some noise here early on. Pass overhead there to Baudry Blais. Has to kick it back out. Khalifi sets her feet and fires, no good. Gowney, she'll take the three off the mark. Now just 24.2 seconds on the game clock. Kim Letang checking back in for Laval, owner of their 1 3-pointer made so far. Down by 11 here. Chance to hold for perhaps the final shot. Letang gives it up to Khalifi. Clock winding down, takes the long two, short. Downey the board, has to put up a heave from half court. Oh, that one was close. We've seen a few half-court heaves already in this tournament, and at least of the games that I've called so far, that one was definitely the closest to going in.
Yeah, that was close. That would have been a big one, too. Those last-second shots at the end of quarters can have such a huge momentum swing going into that break. So you want to make sure that you can test those as best you can, because somebody hits a half-court shot, it can change the energy of the entire game.
After one, 21-10, you're watching U Sports on CBC.
We are athletes.
Do you know what Husky athletes are made of?
Determination.
Hustle. Resilience.
We're part of a team and a community.
We work hard for every goal.
And every grade.
Do you know what Husky athletes become?
Pharmacists.
Teachers. Professionals. Olympians.
When you invest in student athletes, you invest in the future.
When you elevate her, you elevate the game.
Watch women win.
Everyone watches Husky women's sports.
See her.
Be her.
We're back here at War Memorial Gym. You're watching the Indochino U Sports Final 8 here on CBC. In this Consolation Semifinal, Bishops jumped out in front quickly, and Laval has been trying to play catch-up since.
The shooting struggles for Laval continue. I don't know what their shooting percentage ended up being yesterday, but I know a lot of struggles in that first half, especially. And from a team that shoots so many threes, it can be a really frustrating thing and a really upsetting to your offense when you're not making those ones from deep that you're used to.
Took the majority of their shots from beyond the arc yesterday, 13 for 48 in the end from beyond the arc for Laval. They shot 33% from the field overall.
Ooh.
Still managed to get it to overtime. We're very close to defeating Ottawa, but now fighting to try and make it to that consolation final as Bishops again gets another stop at the rim. Rosemary Dumont trying to go up, but blocked by Martel. And Martel hands it off at Champone into the paint. Spinning around, trying to get it back. What a feed at Champone with the lay-in.
Holt's got her hand on that one too. I was just talking about I was just thinking about her length and her aggression on defense, even just watching her there as they were doing that handoff, and how frightening of a defender she would be. She's got such height, but she moves her feet really well. And she actually played that back cut decently well, but lost the ball for a second, went off her hand, and just kind of bad luck on the draw on that.
Tupe Diallo threading the needle on that feed. Lead now up to 13.
Again, talking about all those bounces. Another one going Bishop's direction, right? Just like off the hand of Holt there into the hand of the cutting Gator.
And there's Dumont, big
finish.
bucket on the inside for Laval, close to the end of the shot clock. And there's a great steal right out in front. Khalifi all alone, and she lays it in. That could be potentially sort of a momentum swing for Laval. Trying to answer right back are the Gators, but another turnover this time. It's a travel.
Digging in, got to get your offense from your defense. Needs stops. And Laval, good, like aggressive defenders, turning some offense from their defense. Now they don't have to work so hard on the offensive end. They're not shooting the ball particularly well. So let's get some easy layups in transition, just like Khalifi here.
It's been the main one running the point of attack. For the Rouge et Or, there's Holt. And after her offensive outbursts yesterday, still searching for her first points of the game. Lajoie now back in, spelling a rest for Khalifi, with Amy Roy also coming in for the first time. I believe we've now seen every active player for Laval at some point tonight as another nice assist. This time it's to set up Tupe Diallo on the inside.
Yeah, turned her head there at the wrong time. Able to throw that over the top.
Verrett unable to hit Dumont on that one, as you see the nice finish by Bishop's number 4. They continue to hold on to a double-digit lead. Gowney, head of steam, kicks it out to the corner. Tupe Diallo, the floater, no good. Boulanger using that size to get the offensive rebound. Now Lafleur. Boulanger calling for it. Instead, Lafleur goes for it herself, and she'll head to the free throw line.
Good attack, good look. Had that tiny little hesitation there, right there. Able to get them up. Just slightly out of position. She just kind of lifted her head, looked at that pass, and that drew another defender.
Free throw there goes down for Lafleur. As now a bit of pressure shown by the Gators, trying to continue to make things difficult for their in-province rivals. Baudry Blais inside, tied up there by Lafleur.
I feel like when we get to this tournament, we see that happen all the time, these like two-handed tie-ups. Those are so hard. Those are so hard to do and execute without fouling. Your timing has to be so good. And like, even just the protection of your fingers, like the jamming of your fingers into them when you're trying to do that. And like, it happens here so often, but it's so, I just want people to recognize how difficult that is to actually two-hand tie someone up, especially on an attack like that. It's so impressive, the defensive plays that some of these players are able to make.
And we've seen, especially on the women's side of the bracket, some fantastic defensive performances from other teams. We just saw a good defensive battle between Alberta and St. Mary's on this floor earlier this afternoon, as inside Victoria Gowney continuing to make an impact.
Nice play, good finish.
Verrett. Chimpone trying to stay glued to her on the perimeter. Now a switch on the inside, and Verrett unable to get her hands on that pass, but Laval keeps possession. Some more changes to the lineup. Triple substitution from Coach Giroux, trying to mix and match, find that combination that'll get his team clicking. Knocked there by Belanger. In fact, it wasn't touched.
Oh, I think they missed that. She touched it.
Thought it was going to be a play on there, but ruled a backcourt violation on the inbound.
She definitely touched that.
Bishops, after that call goes in their favor, trying to extend that lead. Lafleur off the mark. Tupe Diallo trying to fly in to save it, but stepping on the end line as she did so, and a quick inbound by the Rouge et Or.
Yeah, we talked about getting put on an island, and 2 possessions in a row there, or I guess maybe there was one in between, but that press comes in and they've got a guard back that's not comfortable dealing with that, and you got to be able to come up and help her out, right? Like, she's dealing with pressure she's obviously not comfortable with.
Nice finish inside there by Denis.
Need to come back to the ball, shorten that pass a little bit so you can get some attack. Right now it's just interrupting the flow of their offense because they don't have that attack mentality right off the bat.
There's Chimpone. She'll pull the 3. No good. Belanger has just had her hands in everything on that offensive glass. Seems like every missed shot for Bishop, she's at least tapping it out to someone.
Was that her foul? Who was the foul called on?
I missed the...
I believe
it was called on Boulanger.
Yeah. Over the back.
So that's 2 fouls on her. Remains out there on the court. Sidestep, 3-pointer is up and off the mark there from Lajoie. Body's now crashing to the deck. And it will remain with Laval.
Even with Verrett's, shooting struggles yesterday, today, like, she just has such vision and is such a good passer. Like, she finds her teammates in successful positions all the time. She's such a fun player to watch. I remember watching her last year and just how explosive and confident she was out there.
3-pointers continue to not fall for Laval, but Lajoie, Johnny on the spot to get a steal in the backcourt, pulls the 3, and this one goes down. Big high five for Khalifi as they try and get those outside shots to go down more consistently.
You could tell what they were looking for that whole possession, trying to get her that 3.
And shot clock winding down on Bishop. Chimpone unable to hit, and the Laval fans in the crowd now making some more noise. That'll prompt the media timeout. Timeout on the floor between these 2 sides. Bishop continuing to hold their lead at 28-19, but Laval trying to fight back. You're watching U Sports on CBC. Plenty more to come.
Feel every hit, goal, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline, immersing you in the game like never before, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. We deliver unparalleled simplicity and tailor-made digital broadcasting solutions crafted to make you feel every moment in a way like never before. Our passionate team ensures your message reaches audiences reliably every time. Proudly Canadian, we bring a touch of innovation and our passion to the world stage. ISI Live, be there.
Oh, smoke, Messi! C'est pas aussi mauvais que la cigarette, ça?
C'est juste une vapoteuse.
Fais-toi pas d'illusions.
Vapoter, c'est jouer avec sa santé. Brise l'illusion.
Hey, U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
We're back here at War Memorial Gym. 4:52 on the clock here in the second quarter. In an RSEQ Championship Final rematch here in the Consolation Semifinals of the Indochino U Sports Final 8. Bishops continuing to put some of that pressure on, but better dealt with this time by Laval. Barrett to Denis. Throws it inside. Jennifer Louis spinning around, creating some space and putting it home. LaFleur on the other end. Gets the screen from Gauni, who now will drive into the corner. A Champone from the outside, no good. And foul there on Louis, trying to box out the RSEQ MVP.
Gauna showing off her athleticism there with that pass out to the corner, right on the money too. Up in the air. Impressive find.
Showing her versatility as a player, the forward out of Argentina. Now gets it in the post. Goes to the left, bank, no good. And Laval trying to push quickly. No hesitation on the three from Lajoie, and that one off the mark and out of play.
Now, Lajoie might have had that hesitation in the backcourt to bring up the ball, but she doesn't hesitate beyond that three. I like to see that confidence. Just hit one, let it fly.
Well, it's Etchampone on the perimeter.
Talking about letting it fly. Oh.
No hesitation there, Gauni.
Flew a little too hard.
A little frustrated perhaps after that one. She's not had the shooting performance that she would have liked so far at this national championship tournament, but as you mentioned earlier, bringing it defensively and showing an all-around performance.
And just a confidence, just an energy about her out here. Like, you can tell that she knows this team, that she's very familiar, and I'm assuming had good success with the energy that she's giving. You can tell the confidence just coming off of her. I mean, she's shot some pretty deep threes there, but she's going to continue. Shooter's got to shoot. And her fingerprints are kind of all over this game so far.
There was an offensive foul called on Laval. Legal screen on Denis. Giving it back to the Gators. Martel into the corner for Greaves. Trying to get it to the opposite corner.
Oh,
LaFleur,
there
nice
you go, nice
dish.
find. Oh.
Unable to finish. Achampone on the outside. The three falls.
Big shot.
Just the fourth three-pointer of the game so far for the Gators. Khalifi to Denis. Hands it off to Holt. Going to the basket. Scoop shot no good.
Good
Denis, the
rebound.
offensive rebound and the putback. Greaves. Nice pick and roll play there with Gauni putting it off the glass and in and hitting the deck hard. There was Denis. perimeter. Holt harried by Greaves. Not wanting to give her any space. Goes to the left, and another offensive foul called. And that was actually, I believe, on Jennifer Louis away from the play. I don't even think you'll see it on the replay here. She was down near the Laval bench. Unfortunate break there for the Rouge et Or. Stuck 9 with less than 2 minutes to play. Achimpone gets it to Greaves, goes up with the left, no good. Almost steals it right back. Second effort, unable to keep it in play.
Good hustle by Greaves.
Now Verrett calling out the action. Gets it to Dumont, back in off the bench for Denis.
Nice play, put that in.
Pick and roll executed to perfection by Garden Big on that occasion. That'll prompt a timeout to be called with just 1:26 left on the clock here in the first half.
That's Destination Vancouver Sport, hosting Vancouver proud to support world-class sports in our city, showcasing why Vancouver is the ultimate destination for athletes and fans alike.
Chance to try and cut into this deficit a little bit more before we hit the break. Laval certainly very far from being out of this one, although Bishops has had the majority of the momentum, rather, the majority of the time. Mixing my words a little bit there, but the Rouge et Or have been able to stay within striking distance throughout the first half here.
Yeah, and they're starting to figure out a little bit of flow. Like, I like when Verrett's got the ball in her hands. She makes really good decisions off that ball screen. They just seemed like they were disjointed for a lot of that, and I'm thinking they're working through that a little bit. The momentum's starting to shift. They've seen the ball go through the hoop with some easy takes to the rim here, and some rebounds. You know, some big minutes there by Denis. Come in, get a couple good rebounds, had a nice finish. Just a big presence for them.
We'll see who can close out this quarter the best, as Gowney wants it in the post. Kicks it right back out. Greaves drives into the corner. Gowney fires the three, no good. Fight for the ball, and a foul is called. Judging from the reaction, looks like, or actually I was going to say, judging from the reaction, looks like it's on Laval, but in fact it was on Bishops. Just not a very big reaction there from Louis after she was fouled.
Yeah, I was wondering. At first I thought they were calling that on the Vals. I'm pretty sure she was holding on to her arm. But refs got it right.
Bet inside to the post there. Dumont up and under. Bit too many steps. So coming out of that timeout, a couple of disjointed outcomes. The clock continues to wind down. LaFleur finds Martel wide open from beyond the arc, and that one drops. Timeout called by Laval. Use it or lose it. 31.5 seconds left, and Coach Guillaume Giroux elects to use it.
Yeah, this possession is going to be really important for Laval here. When you go into the half, if you can be within single digits when you come back out in the third quarter, there's just, if it's 10 or if it's 9, the 9 just always feels better. That single digit just feels better. They've got an opportunity here to get, draw something up good, get a score and a stop, and go into the half feeling, like that momentum shift is in their favor. So big possession here for both of these squads.
And how much time is left? We could very well see a
31 seconds. I think it's 31.6 seconds is what's left. So
definitely a chance for a couple possessions.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see kind of what Laval's approach is. Do they go attack right away and then try and end up with the last shot, or do they draw something up, get a real good look, most likely at a 3, and then trust that their defense is going to get a stop on the other end with, like, you know, limited amount of time? So interested to see how this works out.
Verrett with the ball in the backcourt, shaded by Echampone. Dumont hands it off. Audrey Blais finds Verrett on the perimeter, drives, nearly loses the handle, gets it into the corner. Louis
steps out of bounds.
Gonna have to put it up, and a foul is called. Couldn't quite see the angle on where her foot might have hit there, but
I think she traveled and then stepped out of bounds. See that? Yeah. Some fancy footwork, anyways, going on in that corner. A bit of a, what's that, Bermuda Triangle? Just didn't, you know, things get weird in that corner. Didn't see it. Yeah.
Ends up with some free throws and ball rattling out on that one for the fourth-year forward. Second one is good, and then the ball goes out of play. A mistake on the inbound, and with just 7.5 seconds left, potentially a costly one for the Gators.
Can't turn it over here. You're within 9. Get a good look at the rim. Don't turn it over. You got 7 seconds. It's plenty of time to run something good.
Verrett has it. Looks off Lajoie. She's going to have to put it up herself. The step back triple, and she banks it in. Oh, what a circus shot. And talk about the psychological boost of single digits. How about a 6-point deficit?
My gosh. Well, and I think that's the last thing you want to happen if you're Bishops. Like, Verrett has been quiet, right? She's been delivering passes and controlling the play, but she hasn't been hitting shots. And the last thing you want is her to hit a buzzer beater going into the half just to get her going, right? She's a veteran. She's smart. And you want to try and keep her, you know, her scoring low if possible. So her hitting that going into the half is a nice confidence boost for her.
First made field goal of the game for Leah Sophie Verrett. Does have 4 dimes, and on the side of the Gators, led as usual by Victoria Gauna, 11 points, 5 boards, but they might feel a little hard done by not being up by more with how well they came out to start, but Laval showing why they were the top-ranked team in the regular season in the RSEQ. Plenty of more action to come between these two Quebec sides. You're watching U Sports on CBC. More to come in the second half.
Where exceptional student athletes are born, where records are broken, where great plays are made. where school colors ignite passion, where champions prevail, where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics.
This is a call to empower, to unite, and to celebrate the bold in all their glory. It's time to own the ice. Are you ready?
My name is Jeff Speedy. I'm the Director of Athletics here at the University of New Brunswick in Fredericton, New Brunswick. I'm in year 2 of being the Director of Athletics here after a 30-plus year U Sports coaching career. Shoot for the Cure started from a meeting room with all the women's basketball coaches from U Sports. Way back in 2007, the women's basketball coach from Bishop's University, Rod Gilpin, indicated that they were starting to have a fundraiser game for an alumni of his program who was battling breast cancer. So he brought up that they were having that Think Pink game, like was happening all through NCAA, a bunch of different initiatives down there that were similar. He shouted out, well, why don't we do something together like they do in the US instead of 4 or 5 of us doing something on our own? And that's really how the idea started. I was about to become the president of the Women's Basketball Coaches Association, I think, the year after that. So I kind of took the bull by the horns from Rob's idea, and a few of us kind of got on board and started the national initiative. And I think, for the first couple of years, we had 8, 10, 12 schools getting involved. That was about it. But as time moved on and as everybody kind of got involved and got engaged, it peaked, 10, 12 years later with every single women's basketball program in U Sports being involved. So, it really grew into something special, and, we certainly didn't envision that from that meeting the very first day. When I was a women's basketball coach for all those years, I felt it was my responsibility to help the student athletes on the team that I coached become better students, better basketball players, and better people. Getting them involved in the community and showing them the importance of being involved in the community is one of the easiest ways to do that. At UNB, our teams are very involved in the community, not just the women's basketball team that I used to coach and our current coach, Aaron McElhenney, is doing a great job with, but a lot of our teams are very engaged and involved in the community. It's been very rewarding for me to see that kind of growth and our student athletes realize the difference they can make in the community and the importance of giving back to the community. And if it makes them, a slightly better person because they're of a giving mindset and it's something that they take with them as an adult and do for the rest of their lives, then, that's another reason why Shoot for the Cure is important and can do more than just raising funds and raising awareness to help beat cancer.
We are athletes.
Do you know what Husky athletes are made of?
Determination.
Hustle. Resilience.
We're part of a team and a community.
We work hard for every goal.
And every grade.
Do you know what Husky athletes become?
Pharmacists.
Teachers. Professionals. Olympians.
When you invest in student athletes, you invest in the future.
When you elevate her, you elevate the game.
Watch women win.
Everyone watches Husky women's sports.
See her.
Be her.
Rock and slap. This is more than just a game. This is about who rules the court. The U Sports Basketball Championships, March 13th to 16th on CBC Gem.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Le sport en direct sur icitout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles. Des athlètes de grand talent. Des sports de haut niveau. Tout ça sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est simple et gratuit sur icitout.tv.
U Sports on CBC, presented by les championnats U-Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada, Nike, Fox 40, Theraburn Medical Supplies, Les Bag Baron Rings, BioSteel, Wilson, APAR, and by Indochino.
Pero la perdí de vista y a los 18 nos seguimos por el Insta. No busca una relación que pa' eso no está lista, pero está buscando a alguien pa' que la desvista. La última vez que la vi en la discoteca, dejándose el alma por otro cabrón. Cruzamos miradas, ella despechada se me acercó y terminé tocando todo el punto G. Gritándome, dándote, cuando
just about ready to get the second half of action underway here at War Memorial Gym in the second and final Consolation Semifinal in this women's U Sports Final 8. The Bishop's Gaiters up 35-29 over the Laval Rouge Aor. And Kira, we saw Laval slowly starting to chip away at that lead. It was in double digits for a good chunk of that first half, but what do you think really sparked that inching closer to the Gaiters?
Just getting some offense out of their defense. You know, they had some transition, had some easy buckets, easy looks at the rim. You know, their offense really didn't have a whole lot of rhythm or flow, so to be able to get some easy buckets leading into the half. And then, you know, that end possession, that buzzer beater, obviously a big one.
As Verrett tries again from the outside, no good, but the offensive rebound and putback. We saw Bishops leading in terms of second chance opportunities and points in the first half, but Dumont out there to start the second half, making an impact. Now Lafleur kicks it. Gowney drives, nice move, just can't finish. A chance to make this a one-possession lead, and Beaudry Blais does just that. A quick start to the half for Laval.
Definitely having so much more success running in transition than trying to set up their offense.
Champone misses on the jumper. Now suddenly it's the Rouge Aor with the momentum. Khalifi. And that's poked away. Lafleur, and she's pulled back.
Yeah, you can't complain about that one. Definitely got her.
Could see the surprise on Lafleur when she was suddenly tugged from behind right there. Good poke and then just pulled back.
A very veteran thing. That's funny.
Trying to feed it into the post. It's a turnover the other way. Verrett has her hands on it. So now it's into the hands of Beaudry Blais. Jennifer Louis also out there to start the second half.
Oh,
She
nice play.
Gets the feed from Dumont, and two players who didn't start the first half come out here in the second making some big plays.
I was just about to make a comment how they can't fall back into that habit of not looking at the rim, and both those players caught the ball, didn't look at the rim, but worked out nicely, found her on that back cut, easy, nice lay in there. But Laval, everyone's got to be a threat, and I know that was an issue with the Gaiters yesterday too. Have to catch the ball, got to square up to the rim. You know, things start to open up when you're a threat yourself, when you're able to be played as just a passer. It takes it easy on the defense. You have to be a threat at all times, and then other things open up for you, and the game starts to come to you a little bit, but have to go with some aggression. So it's nice to see that, you know, Laval, even though they're having some shooting struggles, they're going aggressively to the rim, and they're finding a way to score, even though they haven't been able to hit from the outside.
And for Bishops, we'll have to try and regroup. They were up by 11 after the first quarter, but a quick 6-0 start to the third has put Laval in front. For coach Andrea Torres, in her first U Sports Final 8 as a head coach, not wanting to bow out after 2 games, wanting to get that third. Obviously, never a good feeling to lose in the quarterfinals, but to still have the chance to end the season with a win, something that both these teams will be fighting hard for, and if you can do so while getting one over on your rivals, that certainly never hurts either. As Lafleur, nice dish, Gowney inside.
Nice, very nice play.
Exactly what they want to see coming out of the timeout. Verrett going up against Greaves, keeps the dribble alive all the way back out, snaking to the perimeter. Gets it back on the handoff. To the outside, Khalifi drives. Can't hit the mid-range jumper, but last out off of a Gator's hand. Khalifi inbounding on the baseline to Baudry Blais. She drives, gets it to the perimeter to Verrett.
And they've got a mismatch inside.
Can't find her. Instead, it's an open three for Khalifi. And they'll take 3 points on the board to take the lead for the first time tonight. Belanger back in off the bench. Almost a steal there on the pass into the post, but will remain with Bishops.
You can hear her asking for help. She got switched on their big inside, asking for help there. Need to find a way to switch back, but it's tough with that ball pressure.
Lafleur inside, Boulanger, double teamed in the post. Khalifi knocked it away. Verrett correctly identified that it was last off of the Bishops forward and just watched it bounce out of play. And Beku now back in for the Gators. She replaces a Champon. Verrett drives, goes up with the left, and she banks it in off the glass. It is a 11-2 start to the quarter in favor of Laval, reminiscent to the first, but in complete reverse. Greaves. They feed it into their star forward who kicks it out, and Beku, the rainbow three, misses it all. And now it's the Gators' turn to be out of sorts offensively.
Yeah, not a great start here for Bishops. They're the ones looking disjointed, like you said. Now the offensive struggles have begun. But a credit to Laval's defense. They came out firing, lots of pressure.
Now trying to get that offensive pressure going. Dumont. And she walks. Was trying to hit Verrett on the handoff when that didn't pan out. Seemed a little unsure of what steps to take, so she took a couple extra steps.
Well, and it makes it difficult. I talk about being able to look at the rim and be a threat. She's one of those ones that I've been watching. You know, she catches on the elbow there, and she is strictly a passer, which allows her defense to sag off and clog up the key. Laval doesn't have a whole lot of length in their guards or size, so when they're running in and the bigs are able to kind of clog that up, it makes it that much more difficult to get a pass in, but also to get a good clean shot off.
Downey can't hit on a three. Boulanger in traffic with the board. Greaves drives, puts up the floater off the glass, no good, and Khalifi comes down with it and immediately pushes the pace. Tries the behind the back pass there.
I like that idea, though.
Baudry Blais.
Good. Slow it down, 10 seconds.
Verrett wants it, gets it. Comes around the screen, this time with the right, and maybe that banked in three at the end of the first half did truly get her going.
I told ya. I told ya.
Lafleur given the space, and she takes it. Big shot, much needed bucket for the Gators.
Need to stop here now if you're the Gators.
Dumont, again looking to pass it off, gets it to Verrett. Shot clock starting to wind down. Verrett navigates the screen, nice dish.
Travel.
And it is a turnover.
Traveled first, and then she did get fouled after that, but traveled first.
Now Achimpone and Martel back in for Bishops. Downey gets a breather on the sideline, so struggling offensively here in the third. The RSEQ MVP now getting a rest. We'll see who Bishops turn to. And Beku. Nice feed. Boulanger. Close range jumper off the mark. Verrett hits Khalifi in stride. Uses the body and is called for the offensive foul.
Yeah, just a bit too much. Hit her right in the chest. She sold that one actually better than I thought too, but yeah, hit her square in the chest. Just a bit excessive.
LaFleur and Khalifi have certainly been physical with each other here in the third. It's been one of the matchups to watch out there on the perimeter.
When you play each other 6 times in a year, you start to get really sick of one another.
Martel picks up her dribble. Shot clock at 5. Boulanger takes it herself, and she travels. Good job walling up there by Julia Denis.
Needed to shoot that jumper. Had the open look. 3 seconds left, wide open. Hit that. You don't make it. Go get your own rebound.
Along with Denis, Lajoie and Holt also back out there on the court for Laval. Barrett at the controls once again. Gets it to Lajoie from way downtown. No good. Call it a pass to Denis. Gets her own miss. Ball bouncing around all over the place, and in the end, a foul is called on the Rougeoirs. So we get a breather right here in a quarter that's been pretty up-tempo and physical so far. LaFleur right into Denis, and no whistle, but last off of the Laval forward. Neither Boulanger or Denis started this one, but they've both certainly provided very physical and noticeable presences on the inside as Boulanger now takes it right to Denis. Can't finish, pulled down there by Kim Letang. Barrett, once again, the floor general for Laval. Hit Achimpone in the face as she was calling out the play. Holt fires from the outside, and Beku with the board.
Well, I think she was trying to they had a mismatch inside again. They're trying to get.
There's LaFleur taking an open seat on the Laval bench.
Good hustle.
Almost able to save it, but not quite. Just 5 points so far in the third for Bishops. As what was a halftime lead has turned into a slim deficit. Audrey Blais back in. Trying to feed it to Letang in the post, almost stolen. Lajoie.
Gotta move that ball.
The three-pointer off the mark. Victoria Gowney also back in, helping box out Denis on that play, and now the forward handles it. And Beku trying to feed it into the post to Gowney. Good job there by Denis fronting her.
Yeah, tough angle.
So LaFleur will inbound. Gowney trying to wheel around to the basket. Knocked out of play. Last off of LaFleur. And it's another turnover for the Gators. Verrett. Nice move getting around Mariama Tupe-Diallo. She kicks it out. Letang, no good. Hit one early on for the first bucket of the game for Laval, but off the mark there. Neither team been able to really fill it up from beyond the arc. And there's an offensive foul. Gowney called for the illegal screen. Bishops clearly frustrated right now.
Yeah, I think she actually got called before the screen on that bump. And she did make contact, but she sold that one too. You could tell she was laughing when she hit the floor. She knew she sold that one good.
Less than 2 minutes to play in the third. Low scoring affair here at War Memorial Gym. Verrett in and out on the three. Now Greaves gives it to Martell. Nice bounce pass. Gowney is fouled and she'll head to the line.
That was a nice attack, good find. She opened up super middle centric on her and just allowed that drive. Created that 2-on-1.
Second foul on Denis. Only player in the game with 3 fouls is Shaylin Greaves, who is out there on the court right now for the Gators. Gowney, the high scorer for the game, the only player on either team in double figures. She's got 15. Now Louis coming the other way. Stops up, kicks it back out to Khalifi. Baudry Blais navigating, trying to feed it to Louis, and it's knocked out of play by Greaves.
Good defense. Had that switch, but had good position over the top.
And substitution before the inbound. Dumont was trying to get Denis' attention to tell her that she's coming out. She now gets the ball on the inbounds, can't finish, and Gowney pulls down another rebound. Sizes up Dumont, goes right into her. Beautiful play and a beautiful block. Jennifer Louis with the rejection.
Great offense, better defense. Like, what a pass and vision there.
Now Khalifi through contact. LaFleur nearly stopped up there as she crossed half court, but Bishops keep control. LaFleur draws the foul.
Yeah, might have bailed her out on that one.
Foul was actually called on Khalifi as well.
Oh, interesting. Okay, maybe not then. I was looking at Denis.
Who was?
Or sorry, not Denis.
Dumont.
Dumont.
So that's the third foul on Sabrine Khalifi. So she'll head to the bench. Lajoie back in. We are tied up once again.
Oh. She stepped in on that. A little bit of confusion on who was taking the out of bounds, but she definitely stepped in.
Almost a turnover there on the sideline as well in the final 30 seconds of the third quarter. Verrett contested mid-range jumper. She is starting to turn it up offensively.
Yeah, I need her to hit some of those shots. She's such a deadly passer, but when she's hitting those jumpers and hitting from deep, everything just opens up so much more for her. And the offense, oh, what a screen.
Gowney.
The offense just doesn't have to be forced so much.
Gets it to Greaves, drives in, no good. Dumont the rebound, and the quarter will end there. Laval took their first lead early on in the third, and they hold it at the end of the quarter. They're up 46-40, just 10 minutes to play. Who will face Alberta in the Consolation Final? We'll find out soon. You're watching U Sports on CBC.
This is a call to empower, to unite, and to celebrate the bold in all their glory. It's time to own the ice. Are you ready?
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Just about to get the fourth quarter underway here in this one. Laval Rouge shaking off a slow start to climb their way back into things. It was they who controlled the third quarter. Bishops hoping to reassert control here in the fourth. It's Tupe Diallo, Greaves, Boulanger, Gowney, and Champon. For Bishops, Verrette, Baudry Blais, Lajoie, Dumont, and Louis for Laval. Greaves playing with those three personals, turns it over. Now it's Baudry Blais, almost had her pocket picked. Gets it wide open on the perimeter, no good. Downey, another rebound, number 7 for her. Hands it off, now it's into the hands of Greaves. Finds Tupe Diallo in the corner, drives baseline, Boulanger, shot clock winding down, the three is up and no good. Lajoie catches and fires off the mark. Japon back into the hands of Greaves. Boulanger from the free throw line, no good.
Rebound.
That's Greaves once again making an impact. Gowney trying to take matters into her own hands, puts it up and in, and we are knotted up once again.
Nice shot, good finish. That's tough to stop. She moves so well and has such a nice touch for how big she is, like able to muscle her way in and then just a nice touch on that. I don't even know if it was a floater or a jumper, but whatever it was in between, it was nice.
Now it's Dumont in the post, up against Boulanger. Nice job turning, just can't finish, but fortunate rebound, bounces right to her. Gauna hands it off. Greaves, space to drive, kicks it out at Champon. The three, no good. Tupe Diallo there, and another second chance point, this time on the other end.
Yeah, neither team really shooting the ball very well, especially from beyond the arc, but getting themselves some second chance points on both sides.
Nice bounce pass inside, but it's stolen. Greaves coming the other way. Champon swung around. Nice touch pass. Moving it around the perimeter, but the three-point shots have not been falling for the Gators here in the second half.
One of the things I brought up yesterday, and I think as the tournament kind of goes on, it gets easier, but having backboards that don't have a wall right behind it can definitely change your depth perception, and it can make it a lot more difficult to hit shots. And I was wondering if it was the tournament in the first game jitters, or if it was the depth perception behind the backboard, or both. Oh, my goodness.
She might have to autograph the backboard after this one. Another banked in three. Gauna,
oh my
beautiful
goodness.
feed.
That was gorgeous. Her passing might be my favorite part of her game today.
That says something when she scored 17 as well. Baudry Blais laying it in.
Well, and some of them haven't been finished, but like her vision and ability to find that passing window and deliver, impressive.
Back to a three-point lead. Tupe Diallo driving into Lajoie, and all of a sudden, buckets are falling in on both ends. Verrette loves that bounce pass off the pick and roll, and Dumont floats it home.
That bounce pass made me nervous because that mismatch, she's smaller underneath, so any chance you get for that guard to get a hand on it, but really good hands to be able to pick that pass up by Dumont and finish. Like, good play.
And Gauna might have had 6 or 7 straight baskets between the two teams. Verrett again gets the screen from Dumont. This time goes to Lajoie. Back to Verrett from way downtown.
Oh.
No good.
Heat check.
She's now the high scorer for Laval with 12 points. She didn't score a point until the final play of the first half.
Good find.
Boulanger, we are getting a fantastic display of interior passing from both of these two teams here in the fourth.
Yeah, Bishop's really finding each other well. I get, yeah, Laval too, that real nice bounce pass off that ball screen.
Verrett has Boulanger switched on to her, gets the handoff, takes the three, rejected, and the shot clock expires. That has brought a number of Bishop's men's players to their feet in the stands. What a furious rally on both sides of the ball. Timeout on the floor. The two teams probably need it. Just 4:44 to play here. Watching U Sports on CBC.
Sports is the official French TV partner. U Sports comes to gold medal games in the men's and women's basketball and hockey this March on TVA Sport and TVA News.
TVA Sport et les télévisions francophones officielles de U Sport. Regardez les matchs pour les médailles.
Le sport en direct sur icitout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est icitout.tv.
Back here at War Memorial Gym, as you see the latest banked in three-pointer at the end of the clock by Leah Sophie Verrett.
And the stare down of the bench. Yee.
These two teams going blow for blow in the fourth quarter. Now it's Lafleur, kicks it out. Jasmine Martel. And Bekou back in off the bench. Lafleur has it once again. Bit of a running hook right there, and that one drops.
These field goal percentages going crazy in this fourth quarter.
Some real shot making on display. Verrett has had her fingerprints all over this game, especially in the second half.
Yeah.
Bounce pass. Louis puts it home.
Nice.
Boulanger, Achimpone loses the handle for the moment, gets it back. Laurie Lafleur trying to make it 2 in a row, banking it and no good, and a late whistle right there, but it'll be free throws. Julia Denis crashing into her, trying to contest the shot. It's her third personal.
I was just looking at Lafleur's points. She's had a good game offensively today, and like not overly successful from the three, but a lot of really good aggressive takes and some big shots at timely moments in this game too. She's having a good game.
Unable to hit the three-pointer on that one.
Man, sorry, that was mine. I'll take that one.
I wasn't going to call you out on it, but self-report right there is. No, Baudry Blais is going to check back in, placing Brinley Holt, who has not been able to find the same success that she had yesterday against the GGs. Tupe Diallo back in as well. Just 3:31 on the clock. Verrett gets it to Baudry Blais. Surveys her options, brings it back out. Khalifi back in off the bench after dealing with foul trouble in the third. Gets it from Denis, nearly stumbling over as she has to put it up. No good. Gauna with the rebound. He now sets the screen for Tupe Diallo. Lafleur on the other end of the court, back to Gauna. Drives.
Oh my gosh.
Another bounce pass. She is put on a clinic here in the second half with her big-to-big passing.
Oh, she's having a game.
It's now her 5th assist. Almost a 20 and 10 game for her, as well as the RSEQ MVP has helped put her team up by 4.
Yeah, the assists, the jumpers, the threes, getting to the line. Like, she's doing it all here, handling the ball. Like, look at that. The vision, the execution, and just her ability to attack from beyond the arc on anybody. Like, anyone that's out there on her, she's got good enough handles. She's got good speed. She's big and strong. She can handle contact. She initiates and creates lanes and space for herself. Very impressive display today.
Léa Boulanger has been the recipient on a couple of those assists. 7 points off the bench for her tonight, along with 7 rebounds.
9 rebounds, 5 assists, 19 points. Whew.
Then Gauna leading the way for the Gators. Léa Sophie Verrett leading the way for Laval. Verrett, as far as I can remember, has played the entire second half, or at least close to it.
She's definitely the floor general. Tough to take her off.
And there's a foul bumped by Lafleur. Her first personal, just the second team foul.
Yeah, bumped enough just to interrupt that rhythm.
Actually, just the first team foul on Bishops in this one. Barely been any fouls in the fourth. Verrett, shot clock again, winding down. No! Yes, sir! Léa Sophie Verrett is most dangerous when she has to shoot.
She's just laughing to herself about that, dude. Couldn't believe it.
Lafleur now driving inside, can't finish, but a foul. That's on Khalifi. That'll be her 4th. And just the
like, I don't
shot
even know.
catalog tonight.
Gosh. She didn't even look at the rim until that ball went out of her hands, I don't think.
Can hardly remember that in the first half she was struggling to get anything going.
Struggled yesterday too. That, I'm telling you, that buzzer beater backboard is dangerous.
Now Lafleur off back iron, crashing to the deck, and a foul is called on Verrett.
Yeah, they need to be careful here with these fouls. They're going to start putting them on the line.
There's 1:55 remaining. Bishop's up by 2. Lafleur, Tupe Diallo. Gauna gets it on the perimeter. Pulls the 3. No good. Now back into the hands of Verrett. Drives to the basket, and she'll head to the free throw line. veteran guard in her 4th year. Sinks the first free throw. That was her first free throw attempt of the night, now up to 15 points. Misses the second. Gauna.
It's a big possession here. Gators need a bucket.
Coupe Diallo in the post, kicks it
Oh,
back
no.
out, and it's stolen.
And
Beau
in
Driblé,
transition,
hit ahead,
last thing
Khalifi.
you want.
And a timeout immediately called by Bishops as they have lost their lead that they'd been nursing here in the 4th, and it's Laval all of a sudden nosing in front.
Yeah, turnovers. The story of this game, it was Laval at the beginning with all of those costly turnovers in that first quarter. Kept it under control for the most part in this second half, but Bishop's turning it over a lot in timely moments. You know, turning it over there for an easy bucket. Definitely not what you're looking for.
You can see how much Laval's shooting percentage has climbed here in the second half. They're now up to 44% from the game. 3-point shot not been falling too often for either team, but they've been getting a ton of buckets inside here, especially in this 4th quarter.
Well, and a huge part too is Bishop's only shooting 57% from the free throw line. Like, they're 8 of 14. And Laval, although they've only shot 7, is 5 of 7. Like, that's a huge thing. Like, Bishop needs to take care of, you know, those free ones. You got to be 75 and up.
They advance the ball coming out of the timeout, which means 14 seconds on the shot clock. 1:17 on the game clock. Laurie Lafleur. Pressured by Verrett. All up in her grill. Gauna has to hoist it.
Oh.
Great defensive possession for Laval. Under a minute to go.
Oh, Bishop's got lucky there. Didn't know their assignments and had Verrett wide open on the wing, but Laval didn't take advantage.
Shot clock winding down. Khalifi is gonna have to put it up.
Good D.
Achampone knocks it away. It was gonna be a turnover regardless, either a shot clock violation or what ended up happening, the ball hitting the end line.
Just knew she was going left.
Little offense, defense here. Jasmine Martel now coming back in for the Gators, down by 1. Need a bucket. Lafleur.
Oh, the trap.
Double team. Dumont getting her hands in there. The rivalry between these two teams coming out. The tie-up favors Laval.
I love the spice. So much time left. So much time left.
Refs giving them a talking to after this play, as you see the tie-up and neither player wanting to let go. Timeout called, and now it's an interesting decision for both coaches. If you're Laval, do you advance the ball out of the timeout, taking the shot clock down to 14? If you're Bishops, if the shot clock is at 24, do you foul with 28.6 on the clock?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're gonna find out what the strategy is here.
Game that is coming down to the final few possessions. Laval in the situation yesterday, going to overtime in their quarterfinal game. I mean, still a chance for that here in this one. It's been the only overtime game to this point in this U Sports Final 8 on either the men's or women's side.
Could you imagine back-to-back? Like, how exhausting for them. How exhausting. So we got 29 seconds left, so we'll see what they've decided to do. I'm quite interested. Hey.
Laval has chosen not to push the ball forward, it looks like. 24 seconds remain on the shot clock. We'll see if
you want to have enough. You want to have lots of space if you're Laval, right? Like you're.
Boulanger trying to get the steal. Now Khalifi bumped to the deck, fouled, but the other wrinkle and thing that neglected to mention, Bishops had multiple fouls to give. That's just their third team foul of the quarter. They have to foul 2 more times if they want Laval to get to the line. So now it's Baudry Blais.
And interesting, you know, if they're trying to foul in that moment too, like they had the ability to run out that clock there. Oh, and there's a foul.
Seems to be the plan. Aggressive defense, trying to get the steal, and if you commit the foul, then so be it.
Yeah. Yeah, go for the ball. If you foul, oh well.
No more fouls to give. Next one would be free throws. Inbounded to Khalifi once again. Yeah. Achimpone is called for the personal. So with 16.4 seconds left, Sabrine Khalifi will head to the free throw line with her team up by just 1.
Needs to hit these.
So first free throws of the night.
So if you're Bishops, that's exactly who you want to put on the line, someone that hasn't been there. Now you're shooting your first ones under pressure.
Both teams with a timeout left. Second from Khalifi, rattles out. No timeout called. Lafleur pushing the pace. Drives through traffic, no good. And it's out of bounds, and Laval has it. 7.3 on the clock.
Yeah, that was tough. Lots of contest there. Had more time, didn't need to force that one up. Drew, a lot of that defense needed to get the ball to the other side of the floor. I love the aggression. I love that she was trying to get to the rack, and you know, I'm assuming by putting that up, trying to get a foul as well. But you know, she's so small and had such, you know, big size underneath the rim there.
For Lafleur, who has had such a strong game, for Bishops driving right into Verrette, and Dumont lurking behind.
Yeah, Verrette putting pressure on her, and then Dumont adding that length. That's a tough contest. Had a bit more time. You know, could have pulled that out and found something else. But like I said, I like the aggression. I like the take. But unfortunately, didn't turn out the way that she wanted.
At the very least, if you're Bishops, if you don't get a turnover right away in the inbounds and foul, even if Laval does hit both, it will still just be a 1-possession lead. Yeah. And Bishop still has a timeout remaining. So they should.
Well, honestly, that miss might have been one of the better things for Laval, because it came off the rim. And the clock was just going. It felt, you know, like Gaiters didn't have a whole lot of time to get reorganized and feel like they had control.
Now it's Verrette to inbound. Boulanger, the length, trying to put her off. Inbounded, Dumont almost getting a tie up there. Were the Gaiters, which would have been a massive play if they could have pulled it off, but instead.
It would have been Gaiters' ball too, would it not?
It would have been. So instead, Rosemarie Dumont heads to the line. Another player who has not taken any so far.
I was going to say another.
And another miss. Will Laval come to regret?
But if she misses here, I'm wondering if Bishops has a timeout, because if she misses here, then you got to go, right? You make it, it dies, we get a timeout. Like, you almost, like, missing there might have, you don't. Yeah, now we're going into a bit of a
It's a game of chess.
It is.
And so now.
You force an unorganized, like, shot from all the way down here. You could put some pressure on. Like, you miss that one, then there's no chance for them to get organized, right? But then, it's tough, because, like, if they score, like now at least if they just get a 2, it's a tie, right? But if you miss that one, and they come down and score, game over. So it's depends on what works, you know, at the end of the game. It depends on, you're a genius either way if it worked out.
And now we'll see what Bishops draws up out of this timeout. They don't need a 3. They can just go for whichever is the best shot available to them.
Yeah, 7 seconds, lots of time. Get the ball inbounded. Like, you usually need 6-7 seconds off a ball screen or action, kind of the rule of thumb. So lots of time to get a look, gotta attack the rim. Because even the thing with, like, if you have an open 3, like, of course, but they haven't been shooting the ball very well from the 3, but if you attack the rim, you also have an opportunity of getting fouled. Lots of pressure on the defense around there, and one could win it, so.
LaFleur to inbound, trying to get it to Gauna, and it's stolen! Khalifi! She's fouled just 1.5 seconds, and that could do it.
Yeah, they knew where that ball was going.
What a defensive play by the Rouge et Or. First, Jennifer Louis not letting Gauna be comfortable and catch that ball, and then Khalifi flying in for the steal. She hits both, it'll ice it, and another miss. Sabrine Khalifi, still though with no timeouts for Bishops. It'll be basically a full court heave. Khalifi misses again. Gauna doesn't get it off in time, and Laval get one back from the RSEQ Championship Final, and they keep their season alive for one more game.
Very back and forth, that one. I thought Bishops had control for most of it, but Laval really came alive in that second half, and a very, very largely because of Verrett. You know, she came out, hit some shots, opened some things up. She had some really nice dimes. She's so important to that squad, and she had a really great second half. But great supporting cast too. Like, their bigs came in and played some really valuable minutes, had some good finishes and good rebounds, putting in some of those second chances. Like, didn't shoot the ball overly well, but their bigs did a good job inside.
Not the weekend that Bishops would have wanted, as their 2024-25 campaign will end here, but certainly nothing to hang their heads about. Won their first conference championship in just over 2 decades. Came here to the U Sports Final 8 under first-year head coach Andrea Torres and made a good account for themselves here in this one against their rivals. But it will be Laval moving on to face Alberta for 5th place, as we now will award the Nike Players of the Game.
We would now like to recognize the Nike Team Players of the Game. First from the Bishop Gators, number 5, Victoria Gauna.
Victoria Gauna, monster double for her today. 19 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists.
Yeah, she was really, really good today.
And another obvious pick for the player of the game on the side of Laval, Léa-Sophie Verrett, 15 points, 8 assists for her. And just the tough shot maker out there on the court tonight.
Yeah. Needed that pressure, needed that time crunch. It's funny watching her after she hit that third one, just laughing to herself, couldn't believe it.
Well, that'll do it for the Consolation Semifinal round here at War Memorial Gym. The final stats there on the screen. Such an even game between 2 teams. Perhaps in their eyes a little too familiar with each other this season. Ends in favor of Laval. They will play here once again tomorrow, but until then, my name is Jake McGrail. Thank you to Kira Lyons for joining me on the call for this one. You've been watching U Sports on CBC, and we hope that you continue to watch all of the fantastic action about the men's and women's U Sports Final 8 taking place in Vancouver this weekend.